Grafting, practical information, advantages and disadvantages.
Hello, I'm Vincent Sollmann. Together with my colleagues of the Greenhouse Group at the Agroscope Research Center at Comté, I prepared this video on grafting. It contains information on its advantages, disadvantages, and general effects of grafting of tomato plants and other vegetables.
Grafting is an old technique and is already mentioned in the New Testament. The goal of grafting is to merge two different plant species or two different varieties of a plant species in a way that they afterwards continue to grow as one individual plant. The upper part of the grafted plant is called scion, whereas the lower part is designated rootstock. Grafting is used to increase the growth vigor and the resistance of cultivated plants in first line against soil-borne diseases and parasites. Therefore, grafting is an excellent means to control some soil-borne diseases such as Fusarium and Verticillium wilt and parasites such as root knot nematodes. For large-scale production, huge numbers of grafted plants are needed, and therefore, grafting is done by specialized enterprises. However, for a small number of plants, for example to test new rootstock varieties or for your home garden, the grafting can be done by yourself. In the following part of this video, the greenhouse team of Agroscope will show you how to graft tomatoes. The growth stage of the plantlets used as scion and as rootstock have to be the same. Grafting of tomatoes is done when the first true leaves start to develop. In general, rootstock seedlings grow, after a slow start, faster than the scion seedlings. Therefore, the sowing moment has to be differentiated. The two stem parts that will be joined during the grafting need to have the same diameter. The stems of the scion and the rootstock are cut at the same angle to allow a perfect merging of the two parts. Once the two plantlets are cut, they are joined and fixed with a specific clip. This clip is then kept in an upward position with a small stick. Clips and sticks of different sizes are commercially available also in smaller quantities. The cutting device, a razor blade with a fixed angle, has to be clean and has to be disinfected between two operations. The grafted plantlets are then placed in a moisture chamber with a high relative air humidity. High humidity can be maintained by cool misting using a special nozzle or an ultrasonic humidifier. The grafted plantlets are kept in the moisture chamber until the two plant parts are connected. This takes 3 to 5 days. At the intersection of the two plants, a kind of separation line is visible, also at a latter stage of the plants. The grafted plants can be planted once they have the right size. Advantages. Grafted plants have a full resistance against some of the most important soil-borne pathogens and nematodes. Grafting increases the vigor of the plants. It is a biological method, which means that no chemicals are added to the soil. Grafted plants are commercially available. Disadvantages. It is an expensive method, with additional costs for the rootstock cultivars and time needed for the grafting. Grafting is only possible for a limited number of plant species. Resistance exists only for a limited number of soil-borne diseases. Timing of grafting is not easy. The synchronization of the rootstock and scion cultivars is tricky. Because of the increased vigor of the grafted plants, the start of the fruit production is delayed. A big thank to Teresa, Daniel, Catherine, and Robert of the Agroscope Greenhouse team.